welcome into One-on-One on OSU Student Radio KXUY, Sunlink Channel 112, live from Studio 318 here on a Good Friday. Not much college football up this weekend, but we don't have to worry about the Oklahoma State Cowboys losing, which is some good news.
Yeah.
But there is a game down in Arlington that I guess we'll just we just go by everything right here. We'll do NFL for the first couple minutes here because the news breaking today is that Kareem Hunt, I shouldn't say news breaking, this incident happened over the summer. He was not arrested. You know, the police were called. He was not arrested. The story kind of died down. Now TMZ, basically what they do is thrive on finding videos, I think, and that's what they've done in this situation. It's not my job to judge if the video is bad or not, but I can tell you that it's not good.
Yeah.
So I guess, you know, the league hasn't commented. The Chiefs certainly haven't commented because it just broke less than an hour ago. So there is that news out there, and we'll find out about it. But
yeah, you know, this is something that's never good when it comes out. Obviously, it's not good for anyone involved, especially the woman that's involved in the video. So, like you said, no official statement from the chief or the league yet. But I want to say something real quick. It's totally unrelated to what we were just talking about. Shout out to the crew. We put this show together in record time today. Everyone was going, and we hit on all cylinders. So, thank you to the wonderful crew we have working on the show.
Does that mean you're going to buy them all Christmas presents?
Why does that have to mean that?
I mean, just getting the holiday spirit here, Logan.
Okay. No, I'm not. I don't get paid for this, Reed. You know that. I just don't have that kind of money.
It's all about giving, getting the spirit. It's officially Christmas season.
I'll have to give him some of my clothes as presents.
Just not now. Wait till after the show, please.
Okay.
But everyone did kind of throw it together. You've been working on this up here for a while now. It's been a wonderful day for me. I'll just tell you. It's been just absolutely phenomenal.
It's been a Friday.
Yeah, it has. But we're not upset about it, but the Longhorns might be upset tomorrow if you give horns down. Because down in Arlington tomorrow, it's a rematch of the Red River rivalry between the Oklahoma Sooners and the Texas Longhorns, playing for the Big 12 Championship, which does not happen very often.
We've got some cameramen and everyone doing horns down around the studio. That is a flag.
Yes.
Multiple flags on the field. That is 15 yards.
15-yard penalty. So does that mean, you may not even know the answer to this. Can they still do horns up?
I guess.
See,
Wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't it be great though if the Oklahoma players adopted this as like ironic? You know what I mean? Like every time instead of doing the horns down, they would just be like, "Hook 'em, hook 'em." I would like that more.
Well, Tom Herman said that they've always been known for being classy down at Texas.
Of course.
And it's not that he wasn't the guy that mocked Drew Lock.
Yeah.
He wasn't the guy who tried to fight Mike Gundy, a fight that he would have probably lost. But he's not. I mean, he's shown time and time again. The coolest thing he's ever done is, okay, cool, hook him.
Yeah.
That's about as good as Tom Herman gets. But it's a dumb rule, but it's being instituted by the wonderful Big 12 officiating crew. How could the Big 12 officials ever get it wrong, Logan?
I don't know, man. They're got a pretty good track record, you know. They only forced however many other teams out of the Big 12 by babying Texas kind of like this. So, you know, they're doing a great job up there.
Yes.
And they never ruin any game.
Well, they have a big game tomorrow down in Arlington, like you said, between Texas and OU. OU is a 7.5-point favorite. The over-under is 78. Kyler Murray has only lost one game since high school as a starting quarterback.
That's crazy.
And it was to
Texas.
To the Texas Longhorns. I don't think he's going to lose to them again.
I agree. And Texas was a different team at that time, I think. Since then, they got beat by us here in Stillwater for OSU's homecoming, and then they lost to West Virginia the week after that. And they just didn't seem like the same team for the rest of the season. It seems like the wind kind of got knocked out of their sails a little bit after that loss to us and then West Virginia. So, and Oklahoma seems to be the same. They seem to be just fine. You know, their defense is still bad, but they put up a ton of points. You like that? Yeah. I decided the show got a 15-yard penalty. Sorry.
That is great. Good work, Logan.
Thank you.
Good work. Yeah, 48-45, Dicker the kicker kicked the winning field goal. I just don't see him stopping. Look, listen, OU can't stop anyone.
No.
Like, they are not a good defense at all. Well, Ruffin McNeil, the poor guy, got thrown in after firing Stoops.
Yeah.
It hasn't got much better. Quite honestly, it might have gotten worse. I don't know. But I don't think, and we talked about this in our arguments about OU making the college football playoff. They give up a ton of points, but they outscore everyone.
Oh, yeah.
And I think they will not have a problem outscoring Texas tomorrow. As a matter of fact, I think they'll beat Texas by 17 or 20.
I don't know if I'd give them 20, but they will certainly win convincingly. I think they win by 7 to 10. That's my range.
What would a final score be in your mind?
I think it'd be close to the one we just saw there. It'd probably be more like 45, 48 or 40, 48 or 55, 45, something like that.
I think OU, like I said, I think OU blows them out. Probably somewhere along the lines of like 55, 38.
And that's totally possible because this Texas offense, they're not as explosive as OU, obviously. And they've had trouble scoring the ball a little bit this season at times. They obviously only put up 29 against Maryland, 23 against Baylor, 19 against K-State, 24 against Iowa State, and then just 24 against Kansas. Mm-hmm. Those are not top-tier Big 12 teams, well, besides Iowa State. They seem to just fall flat sometimes. It's not as consistent as OU's offense.
Right. I mean, Kyler Murray is a problem to stop. Mike Gundy talked about, he was on Doug Gottlieb's show a couple days ago and talked about how fast he was in person, and you can't even be mad at your guys. Like, what are you going to do? So we're both taking the Sooners to be Big 12 champions tomorrow.
Yep.
And we'll get, I guess this next question will answer the question I was going to ask, but we're going down to Atlanta to the Mercedes-Benz Dome or whatever they named it. It's just like New Orleans.
Yeah.
But a phenomenal stadium down there. It's the Alabama Crimson Tide, #1. They cannot be beaten. It doesn't seem like. But they are playing #4 Georgia. Do you have the game pulled up there?
I do.
So did you see what the spread was?
Yeah.
Oh.
Sorry.
No, but seriously, listen, I think Alabama will win this game. And if Alabama's on, they are ridiculously good.
Yeah.
Georgia doesn't have a chance if Alabama is at their best. Now, we saw it in the national title game last year.
Yep.
Georgia, there's probably only a few programs in the country that have athletes across the board that's comparable to Alabama, and Georgia's one of them.
Yeah.
And Kirby Smart's a really good coach. But if Alabama's on, they're on. But 13-point favorite.
It's a little low. But Alabama never covers when they're like the 20-point favorite or whatever.
You think that's low? I think that's a high spread.
You think that's high?
I think they should probably be 7 or 8 point favorites. I don't know if they should be almost 2 touchdown favorites.
I think they should. We saw it in the national championship last year.
Yeah, we saw
in
the
second half.
Yeah, went
with
to
Tua.
overtime. But
we saw what Tua did last year.
Has Tua played a fourth quarter since that game?
No, that's how good Alabama is.
But
Georgia's already got a loss on the year.
I heard this on Fox Sports today. Somebody's like, well, Tua, I mean, we haven't seen what he can do in the fourth quarter besides the national championship game.
That's all you need.
In the biggest moments when he's shining the best.
Yeah.
So I'm not worried about Tua in those moments. But I think Alabama will win, and probably by a convincing margin. But 13 points against Georgia, I mean, this isn't Mark Richt's Georgia team.
No.
This is Kirby Smart.
But is it last year's Georgia team? You know what I mean?
They lost a lot on defense, but yeah, I think and I think next year's Georgia team will be better once they can convince everyone that Jake Fromm from State Farm is not the guy. Justin Fields is the better choice. He's like Kyler Murray down south. Once they figure that out, Georgia's going to get better. But Jake Fromm is good. He wins a lot, but I don't think Georgia has enough to beat Nick Saban and Alabama tomorrow.
I don't either. The over-under 63.5. Are you taking the over or the under in that?
I'll take 63. I'll probably take the under.
I would take the over.
You're going to take the over at 63.5?
Yeah, I think both these teams could put up close to 32.
Well, I mean, if we really need an expert, let's just delegate it to our fellow Georgia guy here on the crew. You take Bulldogs?
Yeah.
There we go.
The Bulldogs.
So I'm biased.
Well, I mean, his Red Sox won a world championship, so maybe Liam's onto something. I don't know. So we're both taking Alabama at the SEC championship game.
Yeah.
The rest of the games are pretty much a snooze fest. The Pac-12 championship has absolutely no implications.
It's so bad they're putting it on Friday.
Yeah, they typically do, but that's because no one watches.
Exactly.
This game kicks off at 5 p.m. local time in Santa Clara. No one goes to that stadium. No. It hasn't been full outside the Super Bowl there a couple years ago. People are leaving work It's at 5 o'clock. Can you imagine the SEC championship game kicking off at 5 o'clock local time?
Work would let out at like 12, or they probably wouldn't even have work that day. They would all go tailgate.
Yeah.
But
they would shut down.
Yeah, all the cities would shut down.
I think Liam's laughing because he probably knows. He's from there. He knows how crazy it can get in the SEC. But, I mean, the rest of the games are snooze fest. We'll start in the Big Ten Championship at 21 Northwestern and 6 Ohio State. This does have national championship or college football playoff implications. If some other things could happen, Ohio State needs some dominoes to fall, but there is a chance.
Yeah.
Where there's not a chance is for the Northwestern Wildcats.
You never know, Reed. What if everyone else loses?
I know. I absolutely know. Everyone knows.
Yeah.
If this game was in September, I would say, hey, this is a game that's going to catch Ohio. Everyone keeps using the excuse, they're going to catch them off guard because Ohio State. No, not in championship games. Not when Ohio State knows what's on the line.
Right.
When they're staying up watching Netflix, and they've never even, half these guys have never even heard of Purdue.
Yeah.
And that's when they get beat. This is a Big Ten championship game. They know what's at stake. Ohio State will not lose this game.
I agree. It's like you said, you don't get a trap game when you're in the championship game. Like, that doesn't make any sense. They lost their trap game this year, and they beat Michigan. So
beat's a soft word.
Okay, Reed. Okay.
Dominated.
They destroyed Michigan.
Ended embarrassed. Oh yeah, I was.
Just use all your adjectives or whatever. Use whatever you want.
I used all the appropriate ones.
Yeah, the ones that were meant for TV.
Yes. So that's a snooze fest up there. I think we both have Ohio State winning in convincing fashion.
Yeah, Vegas didn't even put a line on that. That's how bad it's going to be.
Well, there's a line for Clemson-Pitt in the ACC championship game, which I don't know why they put a cover or a spread and an over-under on there because I didn't think that they did that for FCS teams. Oh, Pitt's FBS team, excuse me. Number 2 Clemson is a 27.5-point favorite over Pitt. Pat Narduzzi and the Panthers should just stay home. Don't get on the plane. Don't go. This is a trap. This is warfare, people.
Yeah.
This is bad, and it should not be put on TV.
I agree. They should just call it now. It should just be over. Clemson should have already won.
The over-under is 52.5. That's Clemson's number. That's not for the game. That's just for Clemson, and I'm taking the over.
I would too. It's going to be ugly.
Oh, man.
How does Pitt – in what world does Pitt end up in a conference championship game?
Well, when Florida State hires whoever Willie Taggart, and Miami has Mark Richt, which that worked for about 10 games. They figured out he can't have a quarterback. And who else? I mean, Syracuse, Boston College, real hard-hitting conference here. Yeah. People joke about the Big 12. The ACC, Pitt, Pittsburgh, they don't even have their own stadium. They play at Heinz Field.
It's not fair.
So this Pac-12 championship, so Pitt convincingly
they will convince. Yeah, I was about to say they will convincingly lose by 30.
Clemson, I don't even know if I'll watch that game.
No.
The Pac-12 championship game, which kicks off tonight in Santa Clara, is 17 Utah and 11 Washington. That's just pride on the line, basically. Conference championship's cool, but they're not going to the college football playoff.
Right.
I'm taking Utah in this game.
It's a toss-up for me. I'll take Washington since you took Utah.
I will take Utah in an easy win over Washington. So we'll run through a couple games here.
Okay.
In the American Athletic Conference without Mackenzie Milton, UFC and Memphis.
UCF.
Or UCF.
Yeah.
Who cares?
It's not worth watching.
Yeah, I'm going to take Memphis in the upset here.
I'll take UCF still. I think they can ride off some kind of emotion, some positive emotion to win this week.
See, last night on the radio show, I picked UCF, and I had a really good argument, but I can't on this show pick. I'm going with Memphis. Fresno State, Boise State for the Mountain West.
I'll take Boise State.
Boise State, and there is a new head football coach in Lubbock, Matt Wells, who was 44-34 at Utah State, is now the head coach of the Texas Tech Red Raiders. We're going to take a quick break, come back, and talk about everything going on in the NFL, including some game picks. You're watching 101 OSU Student Radio, KXUI, Sunlink, Channel 112.
Visit Facebook.com/TinkerFCU. While you're there for your family, we're there for you. Tinker Federal Credit Union. And OSU Communications. Not sure where to park? OSU Communications has got you covered with parking tips and bus schedule information. We'll be right back.
Your future by selecting a major can be difficult.
It's okay to be undecided.
Connect with the College of Arts and Sciences, where your options are endless.
Where you can uncover your passions and achieve your goals.
Express your creativity by exploring a career in the visual and performing arts.
Investigate new discoveries to make the world a better place with a career in science.
Advance knowledge, communicate progress, and contribute to a healthier planet with a career rooted in the social sciences.
Discover your career by looking at the world from different perspectives through the humanities.
Realize a better tomorrow through problem solving and mining data that can change lives.
CAS prepares you to succeed through internships, study abroad, student-guided research projects, and service activities.
With 109 majors, 52 minors, and 24 departments, the only thing missing is you. College of Arts and Sciences.
Connect.
Achieve. Succeed.
When you have a team of physicians and nurses that really truly care about their patients, that translates into patient care.
It's a small practice, it's a small town. Everybody really takes that time to put the patient first.
Everybody cares what's happening to me and that I'm making progress and I'm gaining my freedom back and my mobility back. This patient is saying thank you.
This spring, I invite you to shop in downtown Stillwater. Downtown Stillwater is home to locally owned shops, boutiques, eateries, and dependable professionals that you can trust. Find the perfect gift for your graduate, have a delicious meal with mom, or just stop in to enjoy great spring savings. By creating a demand for local goods and services, you can ensure a place for the local businesses that help give our community character and keep it unique. On behalf of Downtown Stillwater, thank you for shopping local.
Welcome back to One-on-One on OSU Student Radio KXUY Sunlink Channel 112, live from Studio 318. As you say, they're coming in from the break. The Dallas Cowboys beat the New Orleans Saints last night, 13-10. They held
them to 10 points.
10 points, Logan. Better yet, Drew Brees was 18 of 28, 127 yards, 1 touchdown, and the one costly interception in the game.
Yeah.
Dak was 24-28, 248 yards, and 1 touchdown. But we could talk about what they were able to do offensively. They scored 13 points. If you'd have told me that they would have put 13 points on the Saints, I would have said, okay, they lost by 20.
Yeah.
But that's not what happened.
It's so weird. Like, scoreless in a half. I believe it was the first time they were scoreless in a half since 2015. Mm-hmm. That's insane. Does this hurt New Orleans and their Super Bowl hopes whatsoever?
No. It probably strengthens them as a team, honestly. But, I mean, it hurts them in the not being able to have home field throughout. But anything can happen with the Rams have a couple tough games left as well. But I learned 2 things last night. 3 things.
Okay.
Anything can happen in the NFL, which I kind of already knew.
Yeah.
2 is that the Dallas Cowboys are much better off with Sean Lee on the sideline. They have linebackers who are much quicker and won't get injured. Leighton Vander Esch turns out surprising. Jerry Jones made a good draft.
I know that was not gonna lie, that was a draft pick I made fun of last year. I was like, you're gonna take another injured linebacker, slow white guy like Sean Lee,
and it's turned out.
It turned out to work.
Thing 3 that I learned is Dallas Cowboys fans are even more delusional than I thought. They are crazy.
Yep.
They can convince themselves of anything.
Are they going to the Super Bowl, Reed?
Oh my, Dak couldn't win a big game. And don't tell me that this is a big game. No one, if Dak, which will never happen, was to give his Hall of Fame speech, he would not refer to this one. He would refer to Super Bowls, which will never happen with Dak Prescott, because Alex Smith can throw downfield better than him right now. He has a broken leg. Dak Prescott cannot make the throws.
Yeah.
It's not anywhere close. So if there's Dallas Cowboys fans listening right now and saying, "Oh, Dak's just so great," no,
they were not happy with him up until this week. Basically,
I wouldn't be happy with him now.
I mean, and you hear Jerry Jones is giving this guy a contract extension. Is that a good idea?
I think it's hilarious.
If you give him and Jason Garrett a contract extension,
you're buying 6 and 10 and 7 and 9 for the next 6 years.
Yeah.
Steal the quote from Colin Cowherd. It's Dink and Dak, not Dink and Dunk.
Have you heard the theory that Jerry's giving Dak? He's buying in on Dak because he let Tony Romo go to keep Dak.
Absolutely.
I kind of think that too.
And I don't know what Jason Garrett saw.
Something terrible. He saw a crime.
He's got some very, very bad stuff on Jerry Jones because he still has a job.
He's going to get an extension, so he might have seen something new.
This was an incredible win for the Cowboys. It really was.
I agree.
But now they're leading the NFC East, which is just an awful division. But good win for the Cowboys. But let's be real here. That if they played probably 9 more times, this would be the one win that the Dallas Cowboys got. The Saints are a much better team than the Dallas Cowboys. And don't let one game fool you.
Yeah. I mean, Ezekiel Elliott didn't even have 100 yards rushing. I mean,
had,
it was not a great offensive showcase from either team.
No, and I seriously mean that. I would compare him to Alex Smith in all honesty because Dak Prescott makes good decisions for the most part, and he can scramble a lot better than Alex Smith can. He had a couple of good runs last night, but when a big playoff game, when you're down and you need somebody to make those throws, a window that's the size of this computer, 40 yards down the field, he can't do it.
Yeah.
It is not in the cards for the Dallas Cowboys to win championships with Dak Prescott as their quarterback.
I agree.
And I like Dak Prescott. Seems like a good guy. It's not anti-Dak and it's not anti-Dallas. It's reality. And a lot of times with Cowboy fans and that entire organization, reality is constantly skewed.
Yeah. Kind of to go back to Alex Smith, just the Redskins in general, they were leading this division. They seemed like they were going to win it. Then Alex Smith goes down. They lose to Dallas that Thursday. Are the Cowboys, do they have this division locked up?
Colt McCoy, ever heard of him? Yes, they've got this thing locked up. The Eagles we could take this crew and half of us could start for the Eagles secondary. They're decimated. Turns out Carson Wentz, maybe not as great as everyone thought he was. He's good, not great. But the Eagles are not a good football team right now.
They're not.
The Giants are tanking.
Are they?
I think so.
I don't think they are. I think they're this bad.
Well, they were really good in the first halves of the last 2 games.
Yeah.
And then they quit giving the ball to Saquon and Odell.
That's true.
They kind of looks like tanking. Just a little bit.
Yeah. But I also think they're that bad. I think it's easy for them to tank because if you just don't give 2 guys the ball.
Yeah.
That's pretty bad.
They're out of the race.
Yes.
The Eagles, they don't have enough players. Malcolm Jenkins is the only guy left standing, really, who's a starter. And the Redskins,
Zach Ertz.
Well, on defense.
Okay, sorry.
The offensive line's been beat up.
Yeah.
Philadelphia's just had a bad run this season, but they got a championship, so they can't complain for 5 years. That's the rule. So you're looking at Washington. Outside of the dumb decision to sign Reuben Foster, which was an embarrassment, you're looking at that, and who else do they have? Adrian Peterson.
He's out. He's out the door.
It was a great 10 games.
It was.
It was a flashback to 2012. We're moving on.
It's kind of what we expected, too. Everyone was talking about how great he was at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
Everyone knew that was not sustainable. It's clearly not. And then, they don't have anyone on either side of the ball that jumps out at me as a start.
McCoy.
That's right. There's Colt McCoy and Josh Norman, who hates the fans.
Yeah, he doesn't like playing in Washington. He likes going on the road.
Yeah.
Well, it just seems they do better in
the road games.
On the road games. But, yeah. So you will say that Dallas is now the NFC East favorite.
Sadly, yeah.
They were 3-5 at one time. It will be a heck of a turnaround, but they won't win a playoff game.
No.
They will not win a playoff game.
No.
So we'll get into these game picks here. There's some pretty good games here in the NFL this weekend. Not a lot of great ones, but some good ones. We'll start with Baltimore at Atlanta. Lamar Jackson is getting his 3rd start in a row.
Yeah.
And I'm waiting for it all to come crashing back down to earth.
Yeah, I understand, but
it's the Atlanta Falcons.
It's the Falcons. This is not the week I see it happening. This defense is decimated.
We'll push it back a week.
Yeah.
Is it decimated or is it just that bad?
I think it's a little bit of both. They're decimated with their key guys, and then the rest of it's just nothing special. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They lose the couple of guys that really contribute, and the rest of them just can't do anything. Yeah. So, and the offense is their offense is kind of petered compared to what it was at the start of the season. It's not there now, but I'm looking for Lamar Jackson to run all over these guys.
Yeah, I think he will have a good game. I'm going to take Baltimore to win this game.
I am too.
You say now when I say a lot, it's probably 2 touchdown margin in the NFL, or are you going to bring it down to 1 touchdown?
I would bring it down to one touchdown.
So you and I are both in on Baltimore getting the win down in Atlanta. Yep. Denver at Cincinnati. I really need the Bengals to pull through here.
I don't think they will, though. They're decimated as well. They lost Andy Dalton. He's on IR. Tyler Eifert went down much earlier in the season with that terrible ankle injury. They've just been hit with the injury bug all over, and Denver's rolling right now, so this is a good game for Denver.
I'm upset that they cut Pac-Man Jones because this would be a great reunion for him to come home to.
Yeah.
But I think that Denver wins this game. Case Keenum's starting to find his edge a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the Broncos to win this game, but they have a really easy schedule to close this thing out.
Yeah. I think they have one tough game with the Chargers at the end. Otherwise, we're home free. We're coming for you, Reed.
Oh, no. Hey, I'm telling you, it's a real possibility this could happen. All right, so this Browns at the Texans, and this surprisingly, after the first months of the season, this looked like a dumpster fire.
Yep.
This is now a good football game.
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield's getting things going for Cleveland. They're playing well. They're finding a confidence that they haven't had in 2 decades. And the Houston Texans, who have now won 8 straight.
Yeah. Whoa.
I'm taking the Texans.
Yep.
Because the Texans' offense is really good, and they'll put up points on Cleveland. But J.J. Watt, Davion Clowney,
that's going to be trouble for Baker.
It's going to be a big big lesson for Baker Mayfield Sunday. So
that's exact. You took the words right out of my mouth. I think the Texans' offense with Watson and Hopkins and not really Demaryius Thomas. He hasn't really done anything for them since he got there. Lamar Miller had a big run last week, but that guy's been MIA since he got to Houston. So I wouldn't count on him to have a big impact. But I agree, the Texans' defense is going to give Baker nightmares. This next one cracks me up, by the way. You are going too far with this.
The Chiefs are...
I want to hear this.
They are drowning in controversy after today. It's always a tough game playing your biggest division rival in Oakland. The Raiders can pass the ball.
You can't do it. You can't do it.
I can't do it. I'm doing it for tradition. Yeah. I can't make it up.
Were you going to say they can get pressure on Patrick Mahomes next?
Yeah.
Is that what you were going to say? Yeah. Chiefs by 100.
It'll be closer than you think.
Chiefs by 50. How about that?
Realistic score. Honest opinion on what you think the final score will be.
Kansas really can't stop anyone, but I don't know if Oakland's going to be able to capitalize on that. I'll say 35-10.
28-27. The Oakland Raiders. They're taking it. 28-27.
Oh, no,
you heard it here first.
I did. I heard it.
Everyone in this room heard 28-27.
That's the first and only time anyone in this room will ever hear that score for this game.
The Oakland Raiders will win the game on Sunday against Kansas City Chiefs. You heard it here first.
The Chiefs are 15-point favorites, Reed.
Sometimes Vegas gets it wrong, and they're getting it wrong this time. Minnesota at New England. I'm not picking Chris Notch's Vikings.
I can't either. It's the Patriots.
Well, thankfully, they weren't flexed into Sunday night because apparently, according to Kirk Cousins, that's what they do.
Yeah.
He's delusional. Vikings at the Patriots. The Vikings, they're kind of 1-2 straight. The Patriots lost in Tennessee, and then they played really bad but beat the Jets because you can be at your worst and still beat the New York Jets.
Yeah. And Gronk had a good game last week, so he might be able to put a stretch together. Something like that. I don't think he's back forever, but I'm going to take New England.
Yeah, in Foxborough, a late season, very important game against a tough opponent. I'm never picking against Tom Brady.
Yeah.
All right, really quickly, Chargers at Pittsburgh.
I wanted to pick the Chargers really badly, but I think Phillip Rivers is going to have another one of those awful games, and I think Big Ben feels this team through controversy somehow, and they'll pull out a win.
He's
ridiculous.
Nightmare.
Yeah.
He can't apologize. He criticized everyone, but he can't apologize for what he did. I will take the Pittsburgh Steelers on that Sunday night game as well. We're going to take a quick break. We have a very special guest coming up for some fun debate about the Washington sports scene and a trophy that I think might be the worst in professional sports. And Logan agrees with me. We'll be right back on One-on-One. OSU Student Radio KXUY Sunlink, Channel 112.
Is brought to you by Oklahoma Christian University. Get your master's degree in accounting, business administration, theology, engineering, computer science, or cybersecurity from Oklahoma Christian University. Apply at oc.edu/grad. Oklahoma University is committed to offering the best graduate school experience we possibly can. Come learn and grow with us. And The Table. Stop by The Table on Thursdays at 8 p.m. to join their Bible study. Shoot Rachel an email at rachel@thetableosu.com for more information. We'll be right back.
In my mind, I was never going to walk right again. Before we were through, we had walked 23 steps. And that was my first steps of freedom. This patient is saying thank you.
Welcome back to One-on-One on OSU Student Radio KXUI, Sunlink Channel 112, live from Studio 318, joined by the infamous
Barrett.
Yes. How you doing, Barrett?
I'm great. I'm excited to be on here.
We usually have Barrett trapped in the audio booth, but we decided to bring him out, mainly just to torture him about his favorite sport. Is that wrong? Are we wrong for that, Reed?
We're going after a city, all right?
We are.
You're a DC sports fan.
Yeah.
So let's make this a DC segment. You might be the only guy in this major from you might be the only one here at Oklahoma State from Washington, D.C., or you're one of a few. Bryce Harper.
He's out.
He's going to be further away from D.C. than you are right now. Where is he going to sign?
Honestly, maybe the Phillies. He could end up in Philadelphia. I'd rather him go there than the Cubs, but I'd rather him go to the Dodgers than the Phillies because he's going to get booed hard when he comes back to Nats Park. But I think the Nats will be fine without him. I mean, their outfield is stacked. So
if all three of us boo, how loud would it be? Not very loud. I don't think he's worried about three boos.
Well, I mean, obviously it's not going to affect him, but I don't know. If he leaves, it won't be that bad. If he goes in the division, that's a whole different story.
So you don't. Well, I'll ask you, what do you think the chances are that he re-signs with the Nationals?
Out of 1 to 10.
Like 1 to 10, like a 3.
It's a pretty big number. It's a big 3.
That's 3 more than I'll give it.
I mean, the Nationals offered him a huge contract. He denied it, but there was no opt-out on that contract. So maybe if they did it without the
it was a huge contract, but he's looking for $400 million. Yeah. And they offered him $300 million.
And that's smart. You should not offer Bryce Harper $400 million. Yeah. I've said that since the start of the season. He's not worth it.
You offer him. See, maybe the Nats don't want to bring him back. They just offered him less than they know he's
willing to accept.
Yeah. To make it look like they made an attempt.
I like it.
I don't know. Our front office is pretty good, so.
They bring in elite pitchers that they're great.
We brought in Max Scherzer.
He has been. Steven Strasburg has been aces. Just great.
Stop torturing Barrett.
Hey.
But the Nationals, they have until April till Bryce Harper's going to sign somewhere eventually, but you have until April before you have to worry about them again. We'll get to your hockey team in this last segment. Your basketball team. Dwight Howard.
He's got to have some surgery.
A lower
gluteus maximus surgery.
Lower back surgery. He's
scientific.
Out 2 to 3 months after. Is there word on? Did he hurt this playing basketball?
He came into the season having this injury. I don't know if anyone really knows where it came from, and I'm certainly not going to talk about that. We're not going to touch that on this show. This is a family program.
There's a whole thing about that.
Yeah.
A whole ordeal.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the least of the Wizards' problems, and I feel like we're being so mean to Barrett right now, but the Wizards have one of the best talents roster-wise in the East. If you look at John Wall, Bradley Beal, and Otto Porter, those guys are talented.
And Kelly Oubre.
Barrett's favorite guy. And Austin Rivers, who could forget? No, I'm just kidding.
I mean,
they had Trey Burke.
They did have Trey Burke. They let him go.
You could say we're picking on Barrett a little bit, but in all honesty, like if you look at the problems that the Nationals have, and the Redskins with Dan Snyder, and then the Wizards right now, and the Capitals, they couldn't get it done until last year. Across the board, though, in all seriousness, they might be one of the most dysfunctional sports cities
right now,
in America.
It's them and Sacramento.
It's up there. Yeah, but Sacramento.
They just have one bad
They have
situation.
one team.
That's true.
Washington has
they make up for it with that one team, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Other than that, I don't know.
But
Miami's
doing all right.
Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Reds and Bengals are pretty bad.
Boston. No, I'm just kidding. They're fine.
The city of champions.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. We'll go back to the Wizards. Of John Wall, Bradley Beal, and Otto Porter, who's the first to go? Who's the first guy traded?
I think it'd be Otto Porter. I think John Wall's the biggest nuisance on the team.
That's a way to put it.
But I think if anyone's gonna go, I think it should probably be him.
Yeah. What are you wanting to get?
But
his contract's so bad.
I have no idea, honestly. I don't see them. I don't think they can get a ton for him.
Yeah.
But
I feel like the guy you can get the most for is Bradley Beal.
Probably. But if they start, like, I mean, they're having a rough start. If this continues, they should probably just blow it all up.
They should have done that like 3 years ago. But in the Wizards' defense, they have started close to this bad before, and they turned it around and went, I think, to the second round of the playoffs as like a 4 seed or a 5 seed.
Well, you could probably argue that the East is better now than it was a couple of years ago when that happened. Organizationally with the Wizards, you're looking at the problems they're having in the front office. The head coach, obviously Thunder fans know him pretty well around here, Scott Brooks, has not been impressive. But I don't know that it's Scott Brooks' fault, because when you're dealing with essentially what it seems like a bunch of 13-year-olds, it's like an AAU team that can't get along, in all honesty. And the Wizards are like not immune to locker room problems. I mean, they might have the greatest locker room dispute of all time.
It's up there.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on.
It's pretty easily number one.
But when you're looking at the Wizards' issues, you can talk about trading John Wall, Bradley Beal, but say you move one of those guys, that's certainly not going to fix the grand scheme of things. So what do the Wizards have to do organizationally? I'm talking not just a move, but moves to get to be a prominent team in the Eastern Conference.
I think, first of all, they need to get a center. That's their biggest issue. They had Gortat the past few years. He was fine.
That's the perfect way to describe him.
He was fine.
He was just the fine white guy that was there to get rebounds and set screens.
We got Dwight Howard. It's not working. Not working out. The guy they drafted from Oregon, he's pretty good. I think he could turn out pretty good. But honestly, I think they might have to go into a rebuild. If not this year, definitely next year. So.
Let me give you a couple of guys off the top of my head that might be available for trade if you give the right price. One guy, and you wouldn't get them all for the same reason. So I'll just go for the guys that you want to rebuild with. Do you want Markelle Fultz? Do you make a trade with Boston for Terry Rozier? Or do you try and trade for Kemba Walker and just keep it going? Which one of those 3 guys do you want the most?
I would want Kemba the most.
Okay.
I feel like Kemba and John Wall are fairly similar.
I think Kemba's a much nicer guy.
Yeah.
A lot of people are.
Yeah.
So I would rather have Kemba. Markelle Fultz, personally, I think he could turn out into something pretty good, but that's a pretty big risk. If it depends on how much they would give up, but
I feel like you don't have to give up much for that guy.
Yeah.
I feel like
honestly,
you can give up a
his
second-round pick and an expiring contract, and they'll call it good. The market around him is not high. Reed working on his free throws, Markelle Fultz style.
We want that guy anywhere in the NBA. He can't shoot a free throw. He's done. He is shot. It's over.
I think he needs to make sure he's done. He has to get a second try somewhere else. He's done in Philly. Like, there's no way he's successful in Philadelphia.
Yeah, as soon as Jimmy Butler walked in that locker room, it was over.
He was traded already. We don't know where, though, yet. They haven't told us. Jimmy hasn't told us.
Well, I'm out on Markelle Fultz. Kemba Walker's an interesting, but, I mean, if he gets traded midseason, who wants John Wall, like talked about? First of all, who wants him and who wants that contract? But then you're going to have to sign, Kemba Walker, make him probably top 6 or 7 guy in the NBA. And Kemba Walker's really good.
He's not worth that.
But are they a better franchise than Charlotte is by that much to improve where he struggled in his career, to find that footing, being surrounded by good players and being in a good environment to succeed? He's just going to maybe a worse situation.
Yeah. Well,
so it would be a good move for Washington, but maybe not a good move for Kemba Walker.
I don't know. The best guy Kemba Walker's playing with right now is like Batum or Frank Kaminsky or Malik Monk or something like that.
Watch your mouth talking about Frank today.
I like Frank Kaminsky.
Yeah, but he's nothing compared to Otto Porter or Bradley
true.
Beal. I think he'd have a much more fun time playing in Washington than he does in Charlotte.
I would agree with that. I think there's a lot more to build around in Washington.
Yeah. Get Kelly Oubre. Make him an all-star.
Top 8 player in the NBA.
This is a big Wizards topic. Before we get into our last segment here, let's talk about, obviously, what happened with Kevin Durant last night in the Raptors. He's the first time he's dropped over 40 in 3 straight games. Kevin Durant is on fire, but it's just not been enough, especially last night in overtimes. They lost to the Raptors. Kawhi dropped 37, a 131-28 loss in overtime. Logan, this is almost a sarcastic question, but I do mean it. Are they really in trouble? I mean, KD's dropping 40.
Yeah, no, they lost. Okay, what lost in the overtime was the turnovers. I think they had 10 all game. They have 4 in overtime. You have 4 turnovers in 5 minutes. It's hard to win. But they don't have Steph Curry out there. And Steph Curry makes it so much easier for Kevin Durant because guys aren't worried about where Quinn Cook is on the field or on the court, and they're not worried about where Iguodala or Kevin Looney or Sean Livingston are. Anytime Steph Curry crosses half court, he's got at least one set of eyes, maybe 2, looking at him to see where he is. So they'll be fine. I would love to have seen this game with Steph Curry in.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not certainly too worried about it. Kawhi has been phenomenal.
Oh my gosh. I just want to say I was right about him again. Last year everyone gave me so much crap because I said he was great.
I didn't give you that much.
You did not. You were very nice about it. But he's obviously very good at basketball. Hot take.
So Barrett, where do you see if Steph Curry, he's going to come back here probably in 4 or 5 games, but let's just make the wild assumption that Steph Curry is not coming back. Kevin Durant's good, and he's probably out in Golden State after this year, but if it's just Kevin Durant on that team, what is the ceiling for Golden State?
I mean, obviously, I think with Curry, they're a much better team, so I think there's a chance they could still finish number 1 in the West.
You think they could overtop the Clippers?
Yeah, I think they're still a championship team.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously the talent without him is just unreal. If they can start to get things together, if they start getting rolling, there's not many teams that can match up with them. So, I mean.
Yeah, we saw one of the teams that we thought could match up with them last year. They're second worst in the West now.
Yeah.
So.
They have got some problems, but the reemergence of Kawhi, him and Pop are taking shots at each other. Do you know when that first trip back to San Antonio is?
I can find out for you real quick, Reed.
Or San Antonio to Toronto, just that matchup. But certainly the interesting one would be Kawhi going back in to San Antonio. But Kawhi, do you think Kawhi could win the East? And I say that because they have a lot of talent in Toronto. They were number 1 last year.
Yeah.
Got a new coach, kicked Dwayne Casey out, but Kawhi has made them better than they were last year.
Yeah, I mean, Kawhi Leonard's just better than DeMar DeRozan, straight up. So when you add a guy like that, he's going to be second, third. I don't think he'll win MVP, but there's a chance. And just January 3rd is when Kawhi goes back to San Antonio for the first time. Then they play again in February. But, yeah, I think they could win the East easily. With the way Boston's playing, it's going to be easy for Toronto.
Well, we're going to take a quick break here before we get into the segment I've been looking forward to the most. We're going to talk about whether the Stanley Cup is just the worst trophy in professional sports.
It's not.
Logan and I definitely think it is. We'll be right back on One-on-One, OSU Student Radio, KCUI, Sunlink Channel 112.
One-on-One is brought to you by Oklahoma Air National Guard. Contact Oklahoma Air National Guard at 800-GO-TO-ANG or visit their website at goang.com/OK for more information about how to get 100% college tuition. And Unitarian Universalist Church. If you're looking for a church home, visit Unitarian Universalist Church of Stillwater, located at 320 South Stallard Street. They offer an alternative spiritual path and welcome all races, religions, and beliefs. They are also LGBTQ friendly. Services every Sunday at 10:30. We'll be right back.
Stillwater Medical Center now offers a convenient way to view your health information online. It's secure, easy, and free. Our hospital and clinic patient portals allow you to view results and reports, medications and allergies, track visit histories, view upcoming appointment information, and see your statements. To enroll, go to stillwatermedical.com and click on the patient portal link near the top right of the page. If you have questions, please feel free to call 405-533-6010.
Welcome back to One on One on OSU Student Radio, KCY, Suddenlink Channel 112. We're looking at some highlights from the Wild and the Blue Jackets there. Two teams that will never win a Stanley Cup. The Blue Jackets,
leading the
they lost to your Caps last year.
They did. They were down, Caps were down 2-0. Everyone thought, look at the Caps doing what they always do, choking. But they came back, won 4 straight, and they won the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, Ovi, and he strikes me as a guy who can rally, and he did. So here's the debate for this segment. The Stanley Cup, in Logan and I's humble opinion, is the worst in all. I mean, look at this thing.
You can't even fit it on one piece of paper. That's how cool it is.
That's how inefficient it is. It killed some trees.
It's a punch bowl.
No.
Lord Stanley bought a punch bowl in 1892 and put it on this. It's a punch bowl. It's not even a trophy. It's to drink out of in early 1800s Canada. It's a punch bowl, Barrett. Changed my mind. It's a punch bowl.
All right. Back in 1893, what would you have used?
Not a punch bowl. I would have chopped down a tree and made a trophy or something. It's 1898.
All right. Well,
a sword?
First of all,
a golden hockey stick, but a punch bowl is the best that Lord Stanley. A punch bowl.
All right. Well, first of all, I want to give you guys your Christmas present.
Okay. Can we get a tight shot on that?
Focus on that. I drew this myself.
There's not names on it.
No. There you go.
I love it.
So this is for you guys.
I love it.
You honoring the best trophy in all of sports.
It's got Ovi's name on the bottom.
Yeah, engraved. That's one of the things that makes Stanley Cup the best trophy. You have every single person that has ever won it. Their name is on that trophy.
It's me.
I mean, obviously, at points it gets taken off.
False. Not everyone who's ever won his name, because after a certain point, which if the Caps don't win another title, which is very realistic, their names are going to be taken off of it at some point.
At some point, yes. I mean, but
so your one coolest thing to change my mind is that it has all the names. But
I got plenty of other reasons. But you got the teams from, I mean, obviously Gordie Howe, Maurice Richard, their names just got taken off this year.
So your second greatest player in NHL history is Gonzo.
Arguably first. Okay, well, we won't talk about that. Yeah, he's off the cup, which is a travesty in hockey. But, you get to have everybody's name, at least for, 70 years, on the cup after they win it. And that's something, I mean, you're a part of history. After you win that cup, your name gets engraved. You're with all the other greats, all the other great teams in NHL history. And that's something that no other, you look at, any other sport, you win the trophy, you put it in the cabinet. Cool. This trophy.
That brings me to my point.
Oh, you don't get to keep it.
You don't get to keep the trophy. If this was really us with the Stanley Cup, it's gone in 3 months.
Well, actually.
It's 100 days.
Who's your biggest enemy in hockey? You're a Caps fan. Who's your enemy?
Penguins.
More particularly,
Sidney Crosby.
Sidney Crosby. His name's on that thing.
Yeah.
So on your trophy that you only get to keep for 100 days, might we add?
Okay.
It's got Sidney Crosby's name on it. If the Lombardi Trophy gets handed to Kansas City, which probably will never happen, but if it happens, I don't want the Broncos' names on there.
Woo! Peyton Manning.
But you're a part of history. You got your name on the same trophy as Wayne Gretzky, one of the most iconic names in sports history.
Until his name's taken off.
Player of all time.
Yeah. It's the most probably the most iconic trophy. You got stuff like gold medals. You got the green jacket, stuff like that. But it's definitely up there. It's historic. the oldest trophy back since 1893, before the NHL was even around. I mean, it's got a history of like royalty, you know. Lord Stanley.
They used to serve punch out of it actually at parties because it's a punch bowl.
All right. Well, you know, Ovechkin ate caviar out of it. That was you can eat caviar out of it. You can't do that.
How long did Ovi get to keep the trophy? The man who
he
held Washington on his back.
Technically, everyone you do one day and then pass it on the next person. But he was with 2 other Russians, Kuznetsov and Orlov. So their one day was kind of that's the thing. You don't get normal names in hockey. Their 3 days were kind of combined together. And then obviously after they won it, leading up to the parade, like that whole week, that thing didn't leave his side. So really he had it for like over a week.
Well, there you go. You got it for a week. It's much better.
Do they get rings at least?
Yes, they get rings. Actually, the rings are incredible.
How long do they get to keep those? 6 months?
No, those are permanent.
I just wish they can have the one that they keep and all, and like they pass it around or whatever. That's fine. I just think the fan, like, what if you're a fan and you don't get to go see it? What if you're not around?
Yeah. What if you're not allowed in Canada?
Yeah. What if you can't go to Toronto and see it?
That's their problem.
I wish they could improve upon this. They could make it to where the team has one at all times with their guys' names on it. Why doesn't each team have one?
It's because it's not the same. You wouldn't have. It's not as unique. It's not special.
Change is good. People are afraid of change, but change is good.
I'm gonna be real honest, Barrett. We've been at this for 5 minutes. You have not changed my mind.
All right. One reason it's the best. You got the engravings.
Okay.
You got the history behind it. You've got the royalty aspect. The idea of the passing of the trophy, that everyone gets it for a day, it makes it that day like those players will never forget that. That is stuck with them for the rest of their lives. Like, it's not like you finish the you win the championship, you get the trophy, you get to keep it. It's like you win it, and you raise that thing above your head. The thing's 30 pounds. It's like massive.
I will say it weighs more than just about any other trophy. I did my research on that.
Yeah, it is huge, and it's probably the hardest trophy to win in sports.
Nah.
I mean, you got. What else would be harder?
Football.
No,
baseball,
because in football,
basketball.
You got to win 3 games in the playoffs. If in hockey, you got 2 months of battling through injuries. It's probably the most.
I don't think injuries are just in hockey.
Well, I know, but I'm saying, in no other sport do people play through injuries more than hockey.
Football and hockey are
okay.
But
yeah.
they're pretty close.
But you have 2 months.
Yes.
Of hockey.
I'll give you that. I feel like winning an Olympic medal is harder than winning the Stanley Cup. I feel like some individual sports, or are you just talking team sports? This is the hardest trophy to win.
I'm talking team sports.
Okay.
But Olympic medals that's kind of.
Yeah.
No one has 22 Stanley Cups, but Michael Phelps has 22 gold
Yeah.
medals. So,
well, Canadians, but
how many Stanley Cups do they have?
They're over 20. I know that.
They win from. Are they like the Yankees, where they won in the 20s and 30s?
They won a lot. They won the whole early 1900s. Like they were killing it.
Barrett's giving us a hockey history.
They haven't won it in the 21st century.
You know how many of those trophies they still have?
Oh, 0.
0.
Whopping 0.
Okay. That's true.
So you're pretty stuck. You're stuck on this hockey stuff.
Yes.
You're not hockey stuff. The trophy. You
get to do whatever you want with that trophy in your day. You can keg stands.
Except keep it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that one day you can do keg stands out of it. You can eat caviar out of it. Yeah. Someone got their son baptized in that thing.
That's pretty good.
What other trophy can you do that with?
That's kind of cool.
Nothing. There's no other trophy you can baptize your son in.
He has not changed my mind, but he has swayed me closer to his side with the baptism thing.
Yeah, but you don't get to keep it.
That is true. That's what ultimately keeps me on the other side.
But you're a part of history. Your name's on that thing.
For 70 years, and then it gets taken off.
But it's not like it's thrown away. It's still in the Hockey Hall of Fame for everyone to see.
Everyone that can get there.
Well, yeah, because that's...
There's 3 Stanley Cup trophies, by the way. I found that on the internet.
Yes.
He told us that yesterday.
Yeah, well,
the one that's there, the one that travels, and
then the
original
cup that they can't put on because
punch bowl. All right. So I guess you've helped me a little bit, but I still cannot get on board. So we're gonna. Okay, we have to get out of here. We went way overboard. We'll be back on Monday talk about this college football playoff. Thank you for watching 101 on OSU Student Radio, KQI Suddenlink Channel 112.
Future by selecting a major can be difficult.
It's okay to be undecided.
Connect with the College of Arts and Sciences, where your options are endless.
Where you can uncover your passions and achieve your goals.
Express your creativity by exploring a career in the visual and performing arts.
Investigate new discoveries to make the world a better place with a career in science.
Advance knowledge, communicate progress, and contribute to a healthier planet with a career rooted in the social sciences.
Discover your career by looking at the world from different perspectives through the humanities.
Realize a better tomorrow through problem solving and mining data that can change lives.
CAS prepares you to succeed through internships, study abroad, student-guided research projects, and service activities.
With 109 majors, 52 minors, and 24 departments, the only thing missing is you. College of Arts and Sciences.
Connect.
Achieve. Succeed.
When you have a team of physicians and nurses that really truly care about their patients, that translates into patient care.
It's a small practice, it's a small town. Everybody really takes that time to put the patient first.
Everybody cares what's happening to me and that I'm making progress and I'm gaining my freedom back and my mobility back. This patient is saying thank you.
This spring, I invite you to shop in downtown Stillwater. Downtown Stillwater is home to locally owned shops, boutiques, eateries, and dependable professionals that you can trust. Find the perfect gift for your graduate, have a delicious meal with mom, or just stop in to enjoy great spring savings. By creating a demand for local goods and services, you can ensure a place for the local businesses that help give our community character and keep it unique. On behalf of Downtown Stillwater, thank you for shopping local.